Hey everyone, number 45 on my list of 100 greatest songs of all time is Estranged by Guns N' Roses. Um, when it came out on Use Your Illusion 2, they came out together, Use Your Illusion 1 and Use Your Illusion 2. It's easy for me to say. Um, November Rain was this, everybody knows November Rain. It's the big, long, epic song with the massive solo and mad video where for some reason when it starts raining somebody jumps into a cake, and I never really I'm still trying to figure that out, but it was part of a trilogy of videos. Del James was the director, and he did Don't Cry, Estranged, and November Rain, and he saw it as part of a trilogy. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. And but for me, like, as a 10-year-old at the time, or 12, whatever, yeah, maybe in between that 10, 11, 12 years of age. Estranged always stood out to me, and I'd seen their live in Tokyo videos. I'd borrowed them a number of times off a babysitter of ours who had them, and I just thought like Estranged was the standout song. The Slash's guitar work on it, which on the sleeve, this is an Axl Rose baby. He wrote it on his own, but he says he in the sleeve notes he thanks Slash for the killer guitar melodies, which captured Axl's visions. And the guitar is amazing in it. That, like, he said it was quite difficult to play, and he used the tone turned all the way down on his Les Paul guitar. And it's funny because Matt Sorum, who was drumming for Guns N' Roses at the time, also said he found it very difficult with the rhythms because there's lots of starts and stops. There's no chorus in the song. It's like verses and little musical interludes, and it's such a strange song, in its structure. And it starts on a G major seventh, which is like not a very popular chord, but it sounds quite nice. Um, um, and it just starts with those two chords, but it's always the way that he sings it for me, like, because it doesn't sound like Axl Rose. And the lyrics are when you're talking to yourself and nobody's home, and it's just those two chords, and then Slash's guitar comes in, and it comes in, it's like a cat, meowing like violently. um and then so he's like, when you're talking to yourself and nobody's home, looking out for yourself, you can't end this world alone. And then it goes, so nobody ever told you, baby, how it was gonna be. Goes back into a G major. And I'll read some of the lyrics, because obviously the lyrics are important in this song, because what he said it's about, and he compared it to November Rain, and I imagine other people were as well, like I just did, about the two epic kind of ballady songs on the album. And he said November Rain is a song about not wanting to be in a state of having to deal with unrequited love, while Estranged is acknowledging it and being there and having to figure out what the fuck to do with it. So I think, Axl was particularly proud of this song, and a number of times if you see him on live versions, he will say, "This is my baby," or he seems to mention the fact that this is his more than any other song he wrote. Because if you look at some of their their songwriting credits, they're kind of all over the place. Early years it was Slash and Stradlin for the most part, but when he wasn't about, then it would be McKagan would be in there, and sometimes Slash would be in there, and it is all Axl is the common line through the songwriting, but at the same time he's not pointing it out. It's more when he actually, I suppose, when he's proud of the song. So the lyrics for the song, like I said, when you're talking to yourself and nobody's home, you can fool yourself, you came in this world alone. So nobody ever told you, baby, how it was going to be. What'll happen to you, baby? Guess we'll have to wait and see. Um, Old at heart, but I'm only 28, and I'm much too young to let love break my heart. Young at heart, but it's getting much too late to find ourselves so far apart. I don't know how you're supposed to find me lately, and what more could you ask from me? How could you say that I ever never needed you when you took everything, said you took everything from me? Um, it goes back into like talking to himself when he's home, and he repeats some of the lines, but then he goes into this really kind of open kind of chord that's, I don't know the chord off the top of my head if I'm honest, but he goes into when I find out all the reasons, maybe I'll find another way, find another day with all the changing seasons of my life. Maybe I'll get it right next time. And when I was talking about like Penny Lane, the Penny Lane episode, and how the Beatles wrote kind of songs that were maybe sounded like more grown up than they were, and I think that it comes into that category because Axel, like he even mentions he's 28 in this song, but he talks about real big existential ideas, and he says, well, I jumped into the river too many times to make it home. I'm out here on my own and drifting all alone. If it doesn't show, give it time to read between the lines. Because I see the storm is getting closer and the waves that get so high. Seems everything we've ever known's here. Why must it drift away and die? The highlight has always been for me in this song though, is when he does it live. I think he actually plays because he's a very good piano player, Axl Rose. But yeah, so I do actually think he plays it on the album, but I'm not 100% sure. But there's a beautiful piano solo in it, and he always introduces it. Ladies and gentlemen on the keyboards, Mr. Dizzy Reed, and he does it in his Axl voice, and I've always found that really funny. And we myself and my brothers would always kind of quote it. The Mr. Dizzy Reed line, like I know it's stupid kind of thing, but Dizzy's performance of the solo in the videos you can watch online. There's live in Paris, there's live in a couple of American cities, and then the Tokyo one, and he's headbanging to this beautiful piano piece. But it's just the whole song with the guitar constantly coming back in. I love the kind of repetition of it. Like I love the fact that there's no real structure to it. There's something quite free about it. I can imagine how difficult that would be to write around Axl's ideas. But the band do it, and they do it brilliant. And even Duff's, I always loved Duff McKagan's bass tone. His strings sound like they're going to come off at any point, and I love that. And the slightly bit of reverb on them. And yeah, it's always been really, really dear to me, the song. And there's sadness in it, but there's also there's freedom, and there's hope in it as well, which isn't, maybe you have to dig a little bit deeper for that, but there is a part of it there that I read out that kind of suggests some hope in it. But I think it's amazing, and if you want a treat, you have to watch the video, because it's the most insane video you'll ever watch. Like at one point, Axel's drowning and he's saved by dolphins. But that's not the mad part. The mad part is then Slash. I can't remember if he's on the ocean standing playing the guitar, or if before he's standing on the ocean he rises up from the ocean, and he's standing playing the guitar and all the kind of stuff around it. It's mental. But it's as mental, I suppose, as November Rain. Don't Cry is less mental of a music video. But yeah, Estranged, it's a masterpiece. Go and listen to it. Thanks. Bye.